12 Science, Chapter 11 Alcohol, Phenols and Ethers. Part 2 Chemical Reactions of Alcohols, Phenols and Ethers. Hello students, I am Madhusina, your chemistry teacher. Watch my YouTube videos, like and subscribe it for further notifications. In this video, we will study the chemical properties of alcohol, phenols and ethers. Let's start with the chemical properties of alcohol. Alcohol means OH functional group. So, ROH. This alkyl group can be written like this, a carbon and oxygen. Now, two ways this alcohol can undergo chemical reaction. One way, there is a cleavage of this OH bond, and the another way it can undergo reaction is the cleavage of this carbon oxygen bond. So basically alcohol undergoes chemical reaction by these two ways. Reactions involving the cleavage of OH bond, and secondly reactions involving the cleavage of CO bond. So these are the two ways by which it undergoes chemical reaction. Let us see one by one the both types of chemical reactions. But before that, first of all, let us discuss about the acidity of alcohols. Alcohols, they are acidic in nature. Which property makes these alcohols acidic in nature? Alcohols have H plus ions which can be readily donated. And you have studied in class 11 that the compounds which can donate a proton, they are known as acids. Now let us see how these alcohols, they get affected by the groups which are being attached to it. If we take alcohol, the general formula of alcohol is ROH. This alkyl group which is attached to this oxygen, this is an electron donating group, or in other words we can say it is an electron releasing group. So it releases the electrons and increases the density of electrons on oxygen. So as a result of this, the polarity of OH bond decreases. The oxygen here is rich in electron. So what it is going to do, it will tightly hold the hydrogen towards itself, not allowing the hydrogen to go. So in such a situation, what will happen to the acid character of this particular compound? Acid character will decrease. So if we consider the strength of acid character of alcohol, the acid character of alcohol decreases in the order 1 degree alcohol, greater than 2 degree alcohol, greater than 3 degree alcohol. What does it mean? In case of 1 degree alcohol, there is presence of only one alkyl group. So there is less electron density, less increase in electron density on oxygen. So hydrogen can be lost. But here we are having two alkyl groups. So more electron density, so it will hold the hydrogen more tightly. 3 degree alcohol will hold the hydrogen very tightly, not allowing it to go. So we can say 1 degree alcohol is more acidic as compared to 2 degree, and this is 3 degree alcohol is least acidic. Now let us discuss the reactions involving the cleavage of oxygen hydrogen and carbon oxygen bond in detail. Now, reactions involving cleavage of OH bond. The first is reaction with metals. Alcohol reacts with sodium metal to form sodium salt of alcohol with the liberation of hydrogen gas. The next one is esterification reaction, where alcohol combines with either a carboxylic acid or acid anhydride or acid chloride to form ester, which is a pleasant fruity smelling compound. Here you can see that when we are treating alcohol with acid chloride, we are making use of pyridine. Pyridine is a base and it helps to neutralize the HCl which is formed during the reaction. Because if HCl is not neutralized, it will interfere in the reaction. It will readily combine with ester to give back the reactants. So that is why this reaction is carried out in presence of pyridine. Now the next category is reaction involving the cleavage of carbon-oxygen bond. In that, first of all, we will see the reaction with hydrogen halide. When a molecule of alcohol reacts with hydrogen halide in presence of anhydrous ZnCl2 as a catalyst, concentrated HCl in presence of anhydrous ZnCl2 is very popularly known as Lucas reagent, and Lucas reagent is used for the separation of 1 degree, 2 degree and 3 degree alcohols. Now if you add Lucas reagent, suppose you are having all these 3 liquids in 3 different test tubes. Now all are colorless. By just looking at these liquids, we cannot find out whether they are 1 degree, 2 degree or 3 degree. So we will make use of Lucas reagent. You add Lucas reagent in all the 3 test tubes. If you find that the turbidity, the milkiness is appearing immediately, so that compound is a 3 degree alcohol. So 3 degree alcohol basically gives turbidity immediately. 2 degree alcohol forms turbidity after some time, whereas 1 degree alcohol do not form turbidity at room temperature. So here we are getting an alkyl halide and water when we treat it with hydrogen halide. The next one is reaction with phosphorus trihalides. ROH plus PX3, where H stands for either chlorine or bromine, gives alkyl halide and H3PO3, phosphorus acid. Now let us see the next type of reaction where the cleavage of carbon OH bond takes place, and that reaction is dehydration reaction. The name itself is suggesting D means removal, hydration means removal of water molecules. So alcohols, they readily undergo dehydration to form alkenes. Now for this, dehydrating agents are used. The common dehydrating agents are concentrated sulfuric acid. It's a very powerful dehydrating agent. Then we are having H3PO4. Different concentrations can be used. We can require a mild dehydrating agent or a strong dehydrating agent. So different concentrations of phosphoric acid, or you can make use of catalysts like alumina. Then we can make use of catalysts like anhydrous ZnCl2. So all these are strong dehydrating agents. So alcohols in presence of any of these dehydrating agents, they form alkenes. Now the relative ease of dehydration of alcohol can be given as follows. 3 degree alcohol requires milder conditions for undergoing dehydration compared to 2 degree, and 1 degree alcohol, they require very strong conditions for dehydration. Let us take an example. Ethanol in presence of concentrated H2SO4 at 443 Kelvin forms an alkene. If we take a 2-degree alcohol, 2-propanol, it requires 85% H3PO4, 440 Kelvin to give you alkene. And if you take a 3-degree alcohol, you require very milder condition, only 20% H3PO4, and temperature conditions are also less, 358 Kelvin to give you an alkene. Now let us study the mechanism of this dehydration of alcohol to form alkenes. Let us see the mechanism of dehydration of alcohol to alkene. It takes place in 3 steps. In step number 1, there is formation of protonated alcohol. So we are taking an alcohol. The proton is going to attack the electron-rich side. This is a fast process. So one of the bonded, this lone pair is used up in forming a bond with hydrogen. So oxygen develops a positive charge, and this is a protonated alcohol, which is also known as ethyl oxonium ion. In step number 2, there is formation of carbocation. This is the slowest step and rate determining step. So what happens here? This shared pair of electrons satisfy the oxygen and water molecule goes out. And this part, because it is deficient, so develops a positive charge. So this is a carbocation form plus H2O molecule is there. In step number 3, there is formation of ethene by the elimination of the proton. So this is the carbocation. Proton leaves its electron pair, which satisfies this one of the hydrogen from here. Basically, the hydrogen from here is going to go and it is going to form a double bond. So CH2 double bond CH2 plus H plus. So proton from this carbon leaves, right? We can expand it like this, H, H, H. So this proton leaves, and this electron pair satisfies this deficient carbon by forming a double bond, and in this way from alcohol an alkene is formed. Let us see the oxidation of alcohols. Oxidation reaction is also known as dehydrogenation reactions, as removal of hydrogen is also known as oxidation. It takes place in presence of common oxidizing agents like acidified KMnO4, K2Cr2O7. Both of them are strong oxidizing agents. Apart from them, PCC, pyridinium chlorochromate, chromic anhydride, CrO3 also act as oxidizing agents. It is noticed that 1-degree alcohol gets oxidized to form aldehydes, 2-degree alcohols to ketones, whereas 3-degree alcohols do not undergo oxidation. They readily lose a water molecule and forms alkene. Let us understand it with the help of example. In these examples, we can see that 1-degree alcohol in presence of copper at 573 Kelvin. So copper in presence of temperature 573 Kelvin acts as an oxidizing agent. So you can notice here 1-degree alcohol gets oxidized to form aldehyde. Similarly, 2-degree alcohol forms ketone, whereas 3-degree alcohol do not undergo oxidation but loses a water molecule to form alkene. We will be discussing the chemical properties of phenol. Phenol also possesses OH group, so most of its reactions are similar to that of alcohol. Let us see some of the chemical reactions of phenol. Phenol, when treated with sodium metal, forms sodium salt of phenol, that is sodium phenoxide, with the liberation of hydrogen gas. Phenol undergoes reduction when heated with zinc metal to form benzene plus ZNO. Phenol undergoes oxidation in presence of sodium dichromate and H2SO4 to form a compound, that is benzoquinone. Phenol are treated with ammonia. In presence of anhydrous, ZnCl2 as a catalyst gives aniline with the liberation of water molecule. Similarly, when phenol is treated with dilute HNO3, it gives a mixture of orthonitrophenol and paranitrophenol. Orthonitrophenol has intramolecular hydrogen bonding, due to which it is steam volatile, whereas paranitrophenol has intermolecular hydrogen bonding, due to which it is less volatile as compared to orthonitrophenol. Similarly, when phenol is treated with concentrated HNO3, it forms 2,4,6-trinitrophenol, which is popularly known as picric acid. When phenol is treated with bromine in carbon disulfide at 273 Kelvin, it gives a mixture of orthobromo and parabromophenol. When phenol is treated with 3 molecules of bromine, it gives 2,4,6-tribromophenol. Another very important reaction which phenol undergoes is esterification reaction. Phenol reacts with acid chloride or acid anhydride to form ester. Let us see all these 3 types of reactions, and together they are known as esterification reaction. Phenol reacts with carboxylic acid to form ester with water. It reacts with acid chloride. This reaction is carried out in presence of pyridine to neutralize the acid which is formed in the reaction, because pyridine is a base. So phenol reacts with acid chloride to form ester and HCl, which gets neutralized by pyridine. Phenol reacts with acid anhydride to form ester and carboxylic acid. Another 2 very important reactions undergone by phenol is Kolb's reaction and Riemer-Tiemann reaction. Let us see both these reactions in detail. In Kolb's reaction, phenol first of all reacts with NaOH to form sodium salt of phenol, that is sodium phenoxide, ONA. This is further treated with carbon dioxide gas in acidic media to form 2-hydroxycarboxylic acid, OH and COOH gets introduced here. This is 2-hydroxybenzoic acid, which is very popularly known as salicylic acid. So this is Kolb's reaction. Now, this salicylic acid is a very important starting reactant for the preparation of aspirin. Aspirin is commonly used as a painkiller in balms. You have been using Iodex, you might have noticed a typical smell. So just put a note here that from salicylic acid we can prepare aspirin. This is salicylic acid, which contains 2 functional groups, OH and COH. When it is treated with acetic anhydride, CH3COO, this is acetic then medium is acidic here. Any one of the bond will break, and from here it will get replaced. OH from here and H from here and CH. Suppose this bond breaks from here, then CH3, COO and H is going to form CH3, COOH as the byproduct, and CH3CO will get introduced there. So we are going to have the product OH, OCO, CH3. This is very popularly known as acetyl salicylic acid or aspirin plus CH3COOH is obtained as the byproduct. Riemann-Tiemann reaction. Phenol is treated with chloroform and aqueous NaOH. So this gives rise to an intermediate in which this H gets replaced, OH and H as water, and ONA gets introduced in the benzene ring. From here, one of the hydrogen combines with chlorine and forms HCl, and CHCl2 gets introduced. So this is the intermediate. Now this intermediate is again treated with NaOH. Na and Cl will go as NaCl and HCl will go as HCl. So what are we left with? We are left with CHO and ONA is already there. Now this in presence of acidic medium forms again OH and CHO is introduced. So you can see we are having a compound which contains an aldehyde group. The name of this compound is salicyl aldehyde. So it's a very important conversion also, phenol to salicyl aldehyde, and this reaction is popularly known as Riemann-Tiemann reaction. Next one is the chemical properties of ether. The first type of chemical reaction ether undergoes is by the cleavage of carbon-oxygen bond. ROR' which is ether reacts with HX, hydrogen halide, to form RX and a molecule of alcohol. This molecule of alcohol further reacts with hydrogen halide to form haloalkane and water molecule. Ethers are least reactive, so the cleavage of carbon-oxygen bond takes place under drastic condition with excess of HX. Order of reactivity of HX is HI greater than HBr greater than HCl. That means HI is more reactive as compared to HCl. The next type of chemical reaction undergone by ether is ring substitution reaction. The alkoxy group activates the benzene ring towards electrophilic substitution reaction at ortho and para positions. This can be explained with the help of resonating structures. If you observe this resonating structure, the lone pair from oxygen goes on to form a double bond, and this electron pairs moves, resulting in various resonating structures, and from this resonating structures it is very clear that the electron density is maximum at ortho and para position. So as a result of this, the electrophilic substitution reaction takes place at ortho and para position. Let us see some of the electrophilic substitution reactions in the ring in ethers. anisole, when reacts with bromine in ethanoic acid, gives a mixture of orthobromoanisole and parabromoanisole. Out of these two, parabromoanisole is the major product. If we carry out nitration of anisole, we get a mixture of orthonitroanisole and paranitroanisole. We can carry out Friedel-Crafts alkylation and Friedel-Crafts acylation. In Friedel-Crafts alkylation, an alkyl group is introduced in the benzene ring. So when anisole is treated with a mixture of CH3Cl and anhydrous AlCl3, we get 2-methyl-anisole and 4-methyl-anisole. Similarly, we can carry out Friedel-Crafts acylation. Acyl group gets introduced in the benzene ring at ortho and para position. So, on treating it with acetyl chloride and anhydrous AlCl3, we get 2-methoxyacetophenone and 4-methoxyacetophenone, out of which 4-methoxyacetophenone is the major product. Remember these key points. First key point says that boiling point of alcohols and phenols are higher than those of alkenes, haloalkenes or ethers of comparable molecular masses. Why? Due to presence of OH group in alcohols and phenols, which is having hydrogen bonding. Next key point is alcohols and phenols are soluble in water due to their ability to form hydrogen bonds, and this solubility decreases with the increase in the size of alkyl or aryl groups. Next one is boiling point of alcohols and phenols increases with increase in the number of carbon atoms. So as the molar mass is increasing, the boiling point of alcohols and phenols also increases. Why? Because with the increase in number of carbon atom, the van der Waals forces increases. The fourth key point is, if we are having isomeric alcohols, isomers are those which have same molecular formula but different structural formula. So among isomeric alcohols, boiling point decreases with the increase in branching in alkyl or aryl groups. So this means that with the increase in branching, surface area decreases, and as a result the van der Waals forces decreases. So due to which the boiling point also decreases. And if we talk about ethers, ethers have bulky alkyl or aryl groups from both the sides. So they are weakly polar in nature with low boiling point. Alcohols are weaker acids than water and phenols. In substituted phenols, two criteria are there. If electron withdrawing groups like NO2, CN, COOH, COOR, OC6H5 etc. are present at ortho and para position, acid strength increases due to delocalization of negative charges. This means that these groups will withdraw the electron density from oxygen, thereby facilitating the release of H plus ions. So acid strength increases. In case electron releasing or donating groups like alkyl groups, methoxy groups etc. are present at ortho and para position, the acid strength decreases because these groups will increase the density of electrons on oxygen, and hence the hydrogen will be held tightly by the oxygen, not allowing it to go. So acid strength decreases. Let us take few examples. Cresols are less acidic than phenol. Orthonitrophenol is more acidic than orthomethoxyphenol.